Hi there. This is Kabbalah Astrology's first video in a while. Um, I just wanted to provide kind of a follow-up to something we've been waiting on our blog for a while, where we pointed to August 12th to 15th as this sort of divine moment when there would be this alignment of planets in Leo. So if you see here, we're looking at Planet Watcher. This is right now. Mercury has moved on into Virgo, but we were sort of waiting for this collection of 4 planets in Leo, which ended just yesterday. But I got a good question on my blog from Anna, or Anna, I'm not sure how she pronounces it, about how she was looking in Stellarium. So if we take a look at Stellarium here, this is what the sky will look like tonight. It's just easier to do night vision. So you see here, as she pointed out, and as anyone who's used, different systems of astrology, tropical versus sidereal, knows well, if you look at the stars in the sky, actually Jupiter and Venus are in the Crab, and the Sun and Mercury have moved on into the Lion. So why is that? It's due to precession of the equinoxes. There's a lot of info online about that. But basically, we need to really consider that tropical astrology is, it's a certain reference point, but when we want to really link into cycles that were determined based on the verse in Genesis that says, look up into the heaven and look for signs, then we really need to go back to the basics, back to sidereal astrology. So if we take a look at the star Regulus, which is in Leo, it's the heart of the lion, definitely the power point of the lion. We see that Mercury has already moved past Regulus. The Sun will be moving past Regulus. Venus will come shortly after, the beginning of September. And Jupiter, it will take it a year basically to go from the Crab to the Lion. So that means about next August is going to be when all of these planets are in sidereal Leo. So that might explain something about the energy that we feel now and what is actually going to be taking a year. So I've written this up in a post called Regulus and the Planets, with the dates of each of these: Mercury, the Sun, Venus, and Jupiter. And basically I'm summing it up by saying that Mars is also going to reach this point of the heart of the lion, September 25th, 2015. And that this is the end of the Shemitah year, which is a year in which the world is rebuked and prepared for a new cycle. And that the final blood moon, so the 4th blood moon, is several days later, September 28th, 2015. And what I'm concluding is, it seems the planets Regulus and the moon are telling us that the lion will roar gloriously at the conclusion of this journey, but we are invited to do so each day, little by little, to prepare for the time when we can walk in our true glory, when as above, so below will be actualized and harmony will reign on heaven and earth. So that's basically my approach now, is that all of this wonderful light-filled stuff, I'm sorry, but it's delayed to the future. And that doesn't mean that we can't experience the future now. We can experience the future now. That's why you have Abraham Hicks, all of these self-help approaches, because the future is shining through now to the present. And you can spend a good deal of your consciousness in that place. So we sort of have two approaches. We can either just spend more and more and more time there without comparing less and less and less, so that basically we find ourselves there. And that basically works until the mind comes back into the picture till life surprises you. The problem is that we are still in the present. And if someone has a better solution than what I'm presenting now, I will be the first to jump on it and look it up, because all I'm interested in is ending this samsara cycle, or whatever you want to call it. Every religion has it. That era which our consciousness can access, and that's what is so paradoxical about these times, is that it hasn't yet arrived. It's still over the fence. You still walk outside and there are things wrong with the world. Yes, inside of our consciousness. So yes, if our consciousness was totally cleansed, we might be able to see it perfectly. That is the paradoxical nature of the time that we're in. We are between the suns, it's called in Hebrew. The time that's between the week and the Sabbath. So what are we going to do from here? As I said, there's two approaches. One is spending more and more time there, cleansing our glasses, cleaning off our glasses one more time, seeing the good, seeing the positive, seeing the light, increasing the light. And that's wonderful. Basically, if you can do that 24/7, great. If you can do it 23/7, great. If you can do it 1 hour every day, great. 1 minute of every day, great. 1 second of every day to genuinely spend in positive, light enhancing thoughts. But what I want to try to present is that seeing the negative side of reality and seeing reality as it is, not completely finished, is not necessarily an obstacle in getting there. And what I'm doing is I'm throwing a bit of a wench in the New Age Lightworker project, of which I have been a part. And basically every lightworker I know agrees with me on this point, that recognizing the negative, recognizing the structures that exist, recognizing things as they are, the dimension of things as they are, that has nothing to do with this wholeness and light that we're seeking. And yet that's just the paradox, is that it does have to do with it, is that everything is inside us. But we're sort of at that precipice. We're at that point where there is still something out there that exists as it is, that is a really fucked up scene, and that we have to use our skills of discernment and perception and breaking down of reality, and that is an important part of our waking up. So we want to be in the light, we want to increase the light, and at the same time recognizing things as they are will not preclude it. I guess in some sense I'm still fighting with myself on this point, because I know that recognizing something negative out there is ultimately a reflection of our own consciousness. And yet, if it's there, it's better not to lie to ourselves. It's better to be in that thought that the divine wholeness has presented us, to go there, to see it as it is, and maybe that's it. That faith, that seeing it as it is, getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the actual truth, will inevitably break down the evil and reveal the spark and bring us closer. So I feel like this was a long way of explaining this final paragraph here, which is that the journey is not over. We still have 3 blood moons to go. We had one in April, which really began in January because of the Grand Cross. So January to April took us through a certain progression. April, every month since April has been so different. Every month since February has been so different. February 2014, March, April, May, June, July, August. Next month is there aren't even any words for it. Every week is so different. Let's just start looking at some of the aspects. So again, this is tropical. So people who are comparing Stellarium and Planet Watcher, there's a comment on my blog where I explain it, and I'll put that in the description. But try to flow between these two systems, because these are the tools we have until someone comes up with a way to coordinate all of it. So we're looking now at the tropical placements. So we have the moon in Taurus. Just to clarify, moon in Taurus tropical means moon in the sign before. See, here's moon. Well, because it's actually sort of at the very beginning of Taurus. So tropical says 15 Taurus. So you can see the moon is at the kind of the heel of the bull, which is a pretty cool placement. And we'll be near Aldebaran in a few days. Why don't we just check out, we can fast forward here a bit and see when the moon will be going to Aldebaran. With the date down here, 17th, 18th. Oh, it's pretty close. Maybe a little more. So we have the 18th, basically, right at the eye of the bull. That will be after, a lot of people are saying tomorrow, the 17th, is a big day. We have Venus meeting Jupiter on the 17th, tomorrow at 7:14. Just really numerologically cool placement. 7:14 Leo on 17/2014. So then, as we said, the next day we have the moon at Aldebaran, which is 9 Gemini, because of progression, because of precession. And this is starting to look like a really cool chart. I mean, look at this. All the planets are distributed pretty evenly because the moon is down here in Taurus Gemini, because otherwise we have this huge gap between Uranus and Jupiter, these three signs with nothing in them. But now the moon is there sort of holding down. So it might be a bit more balanced, except for we have a lot of these yods. I mean, look at this. We have 11 Capricorn, 10 Gemini, 13 Scorpio. There's a yod pointing right at the moon. It should be pretty brief because the moon moves fast. But then we also have this. We have 6 Neptune, 7 Jupiter and Venus, 11 Capricorn. A little bit loose, but still a yod. And we have a third yod, 16 Aries, 13 Scorpio, 10 Gemini. So that's with the moon. So the moon is brief. You don't have really solid aspects with the moon. But still, you can see this moment of the moon at Aldebaran, 3 yods in the sky. Look at all these sextiles. Basically, you have nearly a grand sextile in the sky with all these planets. That seems to me like a kind of watershed moment. I mean, I think all of us are waiting for the energy to sort of shift in this big way. It's like we have like our feet on the gas just going vroom, 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 and picking up all this velocity and all this frustration and all this pain and all these stories in the media, suicides, and all the evil forces just want everyone to give up. But most of us are kind of here for the long haul. It's not like we haven't been through this before, and we basically know that darkness leads to light. So we're not about to give up right before the light shines, even if it doesn't shine day after day after day. But some things to look ahead to. We have the sun moving into Virgo, which basically means the sun is at the heart of the lion on the 22nd. And then we have Venus moving into Virgo as well on September 5th. So that will be sort of, from there on, we're moving towards the equinox. So I'm going to finish this and make another video to continue. Thanks for listening.